Hi all, great to see you again. So yes, now we enter into a very important chapter that is content marketing. I mean, as we all know that the content is king, right? I mean, without proper content, without proper distribution of content, without the proper content in terms of quality, also in terms of quantity. I mean, what you are trying to communicate, your message will always be always be a half-hearted attempt, right? So, good content is important. Not only good content is important, but the right distribution of the same content is so very important, right? The channel that you use in your content is so very important. So all these things are very important, and that's what makes what we call content marketing, right? So that is what is called content marketing. So without further delay, let us now jump into my PPT and start this very important topic. Okay. Content marketing. Okay. This is okay. Yeah, this is better. Okay. So content marketing, right? What is content marketing? Content marketing is a form of marketing. It is about creating, publishing, and distributing content for your audience online, right? So, like I said, uh, content marketing, it's that form of marketing which is so very important because we all know that content is the king, and it is not about creating the right content, but it's also about publishing and distributing it to the right channel and letting your right audience get that content and consume it in proper manner, right? So that is what is called content marketing, right? Okay. So in what form can you use content marketing and make your audience reach your content? It can be in the form of videos, it can be in the form of articles, newsletters, images, infographics, right? Or it can be in the form of case studies, blogs, and podcasts. So all these ways, all these mediums, you can use it to, uh, use it for your content marketing. The source, I mean, the medium of use, the channels, so to say, right? Now, what is okay? Now we need to understand what is inbound versus outbound marketing. What is inbound marketing? Inbound marketing is about giving out content that the audience look out for and customize for them, right? So inbound marketing is not something that you're forcing upon your upon the consumer of the content or your audience and then letting them get that content. So basically it's about that form of message wherein uh, your audience would have been seeking that kind of information, and you are just helping them getting that same message. So basically you're not forcing your audience to have that content, but you're only helping your audience get the that information that was anyway trying to get it from somewhere, right? And you're customizing the same content. Now, what is outbound marketing? Outbound marketing is often about forcing content that the audience might not look for. But outbound marketing is just the opposite, wherein you are basically, you might be forcing content that the audience might not be looking out for, right? I mean, I'm basically throwing my message in a very random manner. I'm just throwing it everywhere, and I'm just hoping that the audience would like my content, but I'm not sure if they really like it. But I'm just throwing it everywhere here and there, and if I'm lucky enough, they will like the content. or otherwise it just goes for a waste, so to say. So anyway, today, in any ways, today it's more inbound marketing is so much in vogue because it's that form of marketing wherein I am not only producing right kind of content, but I'm distributing it. Very importantly, I'm distributing it to the right set of audience. I know what is my target audience. I know whom to send this content, and I know which channels I should be using, to distribute the same content. So that is inbound marketing. So today, inbound marketing is so very important. Today everybody is talking about inbound marketing for the simple reason that it's well orchestrated, it's well mannered content which goes out to the right audience. I know what I'm doing. It's not that I'm just throwing information everywhere and hoping that the information will be consumed by my audience. But here I know that so and so is my audience, so and so is my tailored content, and I am distributing it to that and so audience that I have, and I'm distributing it well. Right? Yeah. So that is inbound marketing. Okay. Then, what are the principles of content marketing? Uh, there are 5 principles of content marketing, which in short form it is called SCOPE, SCOPE. S stands for standardize, C for contextualize, O for optimize, P for personalize, and as we go down, E for empathy. Okay. In standardize, it means we have to be consistent for all the consumers about the content that I am, sending. I should not be sending one content. Different contents to the same set of audience. It should be consistent. I should have a consistent message. I should know what my content stands for. I should know the mission, vision, statement of my company in a way, so to say, and I should be confident about the message that I'm sending. And it's only when I'm confident about the message I'm sending will I be sending consistent message, right? So basically, to a set audience, I should be sending a consistent form of message, and I shouldn't be, throwing different messages to the same audience. Just imagine if in the same audience, I send one message to audience audience A in that universe A, and I send a totally different message to audience B in that same universe. So that means I'm basically not consistent about what I'm doing, and I'm also not sure as to in terms of offering, right? And so there is some problem in what I'm trying to say, right? So it should be consistent, the content that I'm sending to my audience. Contextualize is tailor-made content for the audience. So uh, my audience, I first of all I know who my audience is, right? I know so I know their pain points. My audience comes to wants to have my content because they have some pain points, they have some problems that they want to solve, and that's why they consume my content. So when I know my target audience, I should also be knowing about his pain points, his problems that he's trying to solve, and I should be able to solve his problem only when I'm I am tailor making my content according to what he's trying to solve, the problem that he's trying to solve, right? So basically, I should be customizing my content according to the audience, okay, according to the audience needs, basically. Of course, that doesn't mean that I am going to lose my whole essence in terms of my foundation, in terms of my mission vision. That's not the whole idea. But what I'm trying to say here is that when I know my audience, obviously I know his pain points, his problems, right? So according to that, I should be able to customize it according to his understanding, so to say, so that it helps him in his problem solving. Okay. Optimize, doing trend analysis and research, optimize the best possible content, right? So obviously, a lot of research and analysis goes behind such content, and we should be able to optimize the best possible content that we can give to my audience. So that stands for O, that is optimized. Personalized content is a personal touch, connecting in the best possible manner. I mean, we all like personalized messages, right? For example, in India, you got so many different regions, different culture, different states have their own unique features, right? So, for example, if my now I'm a national brand, right? I'm a national brand, and at the moment, if I suppose if I'm trying to target Karnataka, so obviously, if I can give some local flavor in terms of content, according to the local population of Karnataka, so obviously they will relate more. So that means I'm connecting more at a very personal level, and that is important. I mean, if I just send a general message all across the country, and then at times it will not make sense because you have got so many different culture ethos within the same country. So I mean at times you need to customize your, I mean, you need to personalize your content when you're sending your content basically, and that really helps you connect better with your set of audience, right? Empathy, so that is content human touch. So obviously, I mean, people love to connect with people, who show empathy, right? In which there is a human touch to it. I mean, it shouldn't be like I'm just doing somebody a favor and then, or maybe I shouldn't be robotic in my approach, right? In the sense, he's not talking to a chatbot, right? He's talking to a human, to somebody which is more human in nature, right? So that human touch should be there, so that when he can connect better, in terms of the content that I'm displaying it to him, right? Okay. Now, what is a buyer's journey? So it is a buying process that a buyer goes right from identifying a need to a decision-making stage. Okay. Uh, so a buyer knows his own needs. He knows his own want, right? And and after identifying the need in him, he goes through that process, and then he takes a decision making wherein he finds that destination, right? So that's the entire buyer journey, right from a buyer or a customer trying to identify his own need. He gets to identify his own need, and then he ultimately he goes to the destination where he finally gets the need. That problem is solved, because every buyer comes with a problem, right? And it is at the end, it is the service provider or somebody who produces the good. He has to give the problem. He has to solve the problem, right? So the buyer who comes to us with the problem, and we need to solve it with a solution, the right service, with the right product, right? So that's the buyer journey, right from identifying a need by the buyer himself, and then going to the stage wherein he gets his need fulfilled. So that's the entire buyer's journey. Okay, now what are the stages in a buyer's journey? First is awareness stage, second is consideration stage, and third is decision stage. Now, under awareness stage, what happens is that the buyer is trying to be more aware about, wherein I'm trying to make him more, I'm basically trying to make him more aware about. He's basically trying to be more aware or informed about what's happening around him, right? So typically a consumer the content or the audience or the buyer, so not the buyer at the moment, he's not the buyer of course, and the audience, so to say, he's trying to research content. He will have case studies, he will have education report, analyst reports, self research he will do. He will try to make himself more aware. So that's the awareness stage. It's the first stage. It's a very nascent stage. It's the initial stage where it's like He is trying to, he is trying to be more informed about the decision making process, right? So that's the awareness stage wherein he's trying to get as much information as he can from everywhere, right? From research content, he's research, here and there, try to see, the best possible, answers to his own queries. He will try to get some case studies. He'll try to get some education report, analyst report, self research, and all that. Then the next stage is the consideration stage. So what happens? He listens to podcasts. He gets to listen to webcasts. He will do comparison reports. He will see videos. He will get some expert feedback from people who are experts. So that's a consideration stage wherein he's in the next stage wherein he's better informed now and he's in a better position to consider something, consider something in terms of the service or the product that he is seeking, you know, and that's the second stage. So it's one stage uh, better than the awareness stage. He is now more advanced in his approach in the stage, and so that's the consideration stage. Okay. Third is the decision stage, wherein he is really, he's really hot now in terms of your pipeline, so to say, wherein he is trying to make company comparison, with one company with the other. That means he's really seeking to buy a product or service. So that's why he's going to that stage wherein he is doing company comparison, or he might also do product comparison, or he will ask for trial use. So when somebody is asking for trial use, for example, if I'm trying to buy a car, if I'll definitely ask for a trial use. That means I'm really interested in buying. I'll just not you know you know ask for a trial run just for the heck of it, just for a joyride, right? In today's world where you got hardly any time, you'll not ask a Hyundai or a Honda, for example, to bring the car to my home, and wherein I just have a demo run, so to say. So when I'm seeking for a trial use means I'm really interested, right? Then likewise, demo request. I'm asking for a demo request from the company for the product and service. So that means I'm really interested. So that's the decision stage. So these are the three stages that that is there in the entire journey of the buyer. Okay. Now audience persona. Okay. What is audience persona? It is a semi-fictional representation that you would derive your ideal customer to be. This is on the basis of set research and other criteria that you set. Okay. So what happens is that you build the audience persona. How you build the audience persona? So what is the audience persona first of all? It is basically a fictional kind of a representation wherein you think that after averaging out different samples, you think that this is your right target audience. This is your right customer, so to say. So this customer is basically, is somebody, your ideal customer, so to say. And this is the customer you really want to focus on, so to say. So how you do this, basically, you have different feedbacks everywhere. You've got your representatives taking feedback in a set area, for example. You do research on your own, right? Then you go through your contact database. You see as to what was their feedback in terms of what they really want, demographics, so to say. Then your customer. So what your customer really find interesting in any new product launch that might be happening, right? Then after see then what you do is that after what do you say, after asking or probing questions to your previous customers, or maybe your potential customers, or he might not be a customer at all, you basically get to know as to what are his requirements. So what could be an ideal customer who really needs what kind of information from you, right? Because in a sample size, you have different customers, right? You will have different people giving you different information, right? And after you take all this information, and then you come to the conclusion that my ideal customer is somebody who is from this demographic, for example, who is a male or a female. Okay, uh, he falls within this age group, so to say. He comes from this uh, economic background, so to say. For example, this is what he wants from me in terms of products and services, and this is the target location that he really comes from. So that's the ideal representation of your imaginary customer, who is nothing but supposed to be your ideal customer, right? And so you basically, do this through your own research, through your own feedback that you get, across your different sets of people, and that's how you derive that ideal customer, so to say, right? So how it helps, how this audience persona helps is that obviously it adds focus to your business, because you know who is your ideal customer, right? Even though it's fictional, but you know that he's the ideal customer, and then you obviously know how to focus, whom to focus upon. So that means you are giving more focus to your business, right? Uh, because otherwise you'll just go everywhere. You'll go haywire. You'll go here, you'll go there. You don't know who is your ideal customer. So when you know that this is your, even though he's a fictional ideal customer, but he's your ideal customer, right? So if this is your ideal customer, then you know where to focus, and what kind of products and services that you need to give him. So you're having more focus in business. Then obviously it helps good product development, because you know what kind of product you need to develop for this ideal customer, because you know this customer, you have got the feedback from your ideal customer that so and so product is what he is really looking for, and then you know how to develop a product. So you can definitely helps your product development team, right? Because they're getting the right information from your feed, from this audience persona that this is what is their requirement, right? So it adds to your good product development. It definitely attracts high value customer, because you know that what a customer would be willing to spend more amount of money in terms of what products and service, right? So it definitely helps you in giving a high valued customer a high valued products or service also, right? Definitely helps in customer retention, because once you know what your customer wants, it helps you in customer retention, because your customer is satisfied because you've given him the right product, right? And he comes back to you. You have satisfied the customer with his needs, with his pain points. He's happy with you, so obviously you will get come back, because customer retention is ultimately very important, right? I mean, if your customer comes back to you over and over again, that means one is that you have got the right product, right? And also you don't have to you're not spend you are basically spending less on your marketing also, because the same customers are coming back, and that's a very healthy sign, because for any company customer retention is so very important. Otherwise you'll have to seek new customers every time, and then so that's not a healthy sign. So it helps in your customer retention also, right? Okay, so that's audience persona. Okay, now how do you promote your uh, your content? Okay, email reach out, that's obviously very important. You got good subscriber list, email list, so to say, and you reach out to them, and then it definitely promotes your content, because these are the people. Of course, you should have the right email. It's not like you should have a cold list. You should have a subscriber list who subscribe to your email, for example, who wants to know more about you. So when you are sending your next newsletters in terms of product launch or something, you reach out to them to the same set of people, and so email reach out is definitely very important. Then community engagement is also important. So community engagement could be in form of Facebook groups or LinkedIn groups, or it could also be you are you are part of Quora or Yahoo Answers, wherein you're trying to be part of that community, and you're trying to, you're more engaged, there. So community engagement is definitely very important. Paid promotion is are your Facebook ads, your different paid ads, so to say. That also helps, of course, because you are ultimately reaching out, and this is not your and like I said, digital ads are totally different. You have your set target audience, you know who your target audience, and then you are sending those Facebook ads or maybe Google ads also to the right set of customers, to the right set of target audience, so to say, not customers, target audience, right? So paid promotions could also help, of course. Then you start writing for others, meaning you are writing for other platforms. That also helps because you are building your own brand in the process, right? With your own content, you are helping somebody else, even though it's through somebody else's platform, but you are writing for others. But you're definitely, getting those people, the right people, so to say. The link building is we are already discussing, in a previous session. What is link building? You are basically, you ask website owners, so to say, to give you a backlink, and then that link building also helps, because if you're doing the right kind of link building, with say websites who are really well known in the market, so it makes your job easier, of course, right? Because you are linking with somebody who is known in the market. Obviously, you shouldn't be linking with somebody who is not known in the market or who's got a bad name, for example. So obviously it will not help. It will only devalue your product. So the right link building will also help. So these are the promotions that you can do for your content marketing. The content measurement, content performance measurement. So obviously, this metric is very important. Ultimately, you have to your content, the content that you're offering or letting people consume. There has to be some metrics, right? I mean, you just can't. There has to be some way of measuring as to how helpful I mean, how. Um, I mean, how your content performed in terms of reaching out to these people, right? So number one is number of visitors to the page. Obviously, if more number of people are coming to your page means it's a healthy sign, of course, because more number of like-minded people want to come to your page and want to know more about you, about your product, about your service. So that's one way, of course, to know that your content is how your content is doing, whether it's doing okay, average, moderate, or great. Stickiness on the page, meaning for how long does your audience sticks to your page. I'm talking about the session, the session time. For how long they stays on your page is also very important. If the longer they stays, meaning they really want to be there and know more about you, your product, service. That means your content is engaging. It is also, helping them get the information that they really want, that they're really seeking. That means you're really helping them with the content. So stickiness on the page is very important. Click through is click through, meaning how many clicks is it that they're really clicking on an image or a text, or they're just running through. Okay, just scrolling and is one thing. Just scrolling down the page is one thing. But if somebody is really clicking on an article or a page or an image, that means he's really interested. I mean, why will I click on somebody's website if I'm really not interested, right? Or I just scroll through, or and after some time just go away. But if I'm clicking, means my intent is really to know more. So I want to go to the next level. So click through is very important, right? Share of voices. This is something wherein you're trying to figure out in terms of competition. So basically, what is the kind of uh, where do you stand in terms of your competitors, in terms of your, for example, if you have a page, and then what is the share of voice in terms of another competitor, so that's a share of voice. So higher is share a voice, better it is, of course, for you. Brand sentiment is what people have to talk about a brand, So that is brand sentiment. Are they really talking good about you or negative about you? I mean, negative things will always be there, no, I mean, no. Today in the social media age, you often find negative comments. You'll find a lot of trolls. You can't do without that. Okay, that's part and parcel. But if people are on, I mean, but even apart from that, if people are also giving you good positive comments, constructive comments, if they're really liking your brands, so that measurement you obviously will have to do in terms of in terms of the good versus bad. If the goodness is much more than the negative sentiment, so to say, then you're doing a fair job. Of course, there is always scope for improvement. That is always there. So brand sentiment is something that you obviously you will have to see how people are responding to your brand in terms of the comments, their negative vibes, or positive vibes, so that you'll have to find out. So brand influence is that. So next is brand influence. So brand influence is how your brand has been able to influence other people, other like-minded people. For example, you have a TG which is quite young, right? Young and happening, and if suppose if you got a content which has influenced his, I'll not say influence his behavior, but if you can relate to his kind of interest, then you're obviously doing the right job. So it's basically connecting to his thought process, connecting to his behavior, connecting to his interest level. So that's the brand influence. How much you have been able to uh, to connect with your audience, basically. So that's the brand influence. Then ultimately, of course, it sales. If somebody is coming to your website after going through all the products and services, after doing all the required clicks, and then ultimately if somebody is adding some to the basket, if it's a e-commerce platform, then checks out, and then sales is happening. So obviously you're doing a good job, right? So sales is also very good performance metrics. So yeah, so these are the key content performance measurement, so to say. You'll have to be able to measure the content, so to say. This is how you do it, right? Okay, now the content marketing plan. So how do you do your content marketing plan? First, of course, you need to have your target audience, right? You just can't go haywire, right? You need a target audience, of course, right? You need to know who is the target audience. When I'm saying who is the target audience, meaning uh, it could be it's a combination of gender, maybe it could also be a combination of different age groups. What is your age group? It will also be your location based, audience. Where is that your audience is available really? So you obviously need the right target audience. Then second is that your content obviously should be educating the audience or the pain points. I mean, whenever somebody comes to your content page, to your website, so to say, obviously it's got some need, some pain points, some problems to solve, right? And then that's why he comes. So you will have to be in a position to educate the audience with the right content. So your content should be educating enough, so that he goes back and solves part of the problem or maybe the entire problem, right? So, for example, if I have a car company, for example, okay, car company website, so to say, people will come to my website. They will also go to another website. They're trying to seek, more and more information. They're trying. They've got. I've got now. Somebody has a pain points in terms of uh, knowing more in terms of mileage of the car. Somebody might want to know more in terms of how the engine works. All these different uh, features of the car. So So he goes to different websites to seek those answers. And so when he comes to my website, I should be able to educate him with the right answers to his queries, right? USP to content, so unique selling proposition to the content. That is very important. I have to stand out in terms of content, right? Because everybody writes content. I mean, today in this day and age, you got millions and billions in content that's running around, right? But if I can stand out among the crowd, then obviously I'm doing the right job. So unique selling proposition there, my content has to stand out. In some way or the other, it has to be different. It has to be different in a way that serves the purpose of the consumer of the content, right? So content format. Again, this is important. Content format meaning what format you're using, whether you are using articles, blogs, podcasts. So you have to do your own research, trial and error, so to say, which is the best format for you. Does podcast works better for you? Does videos work better for you? Or maybe articles better for you? Or infographics. So it's a combination of everything, of course. Today we all know videos. It really does a lot. Podcast, webcast. So all these things they really have been doing so well. So all these things have to be a part of your content plan, wherein you're planning the right format for your content. Yeah. Then channels to be used. So channels to be used meaning uh, are you using social media channels or you using blogs? Uh, you know. Uh, so there's so many different channels. How you reach out to your clients, right? Yeah. So so the platform that you're using, that you have to know. Again, a proper research has to be done. And then accordingly you have to use those channels and reach out to your audience. Right? So managing content and scheduling. So meaning who is doing what content is so very important. You have to tell your content team as to who is doing what, and then you also have to schedule it accordingly, because scheduling meaning what content should go at what time, what day, what time, because you just can't keep on sending content after content or content, right? There has to be some strategy in terms of scheduling of the content, meaning this content should go during this time, this content should go during that time. So that scheduling has to be done. So there has a method to this madness, because of course content, there will be a lot of content that you can write, but there has to be a method wherein you are scheduling it properly, wherein you're managing content properly in terms of distributing content among your team members, saying okay, this is what you write, this is what you write, and then according there is a structure, and accordingly it has to be distributed to your audience at the right time with the right intent, right? Yeah, so that's about it. That's what content marketing is all about. Very important, because ultimately it's all about content. Like we all say, content is the king. And yeah, so hopefully you all understood it properly, and yes, make use of the right content, which is so very important, so very essential, right? Okay, thanks again, and yes, see you again.